Hi everyone, there's a lot more of you than the last time I said that. Thank you all for subscribing. Today I am going to be doing a video on books that have influenced the treatment I have received with my illness and books that have changed my perception of illness. So I have a condition and the broad phrase for that is intestinal failure. So my stomach no longer works at all, so that's got a tube that bypasses it and I'm fed further on. And everything that I have in a day is in one bottle, calorie wise, it's all worked out. I also have a few other associated conditions which are quite disabling all in all. So the first book I'm going to talk to you about is this one. It's Articulations, The Body and Illness in Poetry. I got this on Amazon and it's actually an ex-library book from America. It took a good long while to get here, but it was worth it. Look how many I've bookmarked. I'm becoming known for my bookmarks, I think, on the quiet. Yeah, they inspired quite a lot of poems for me and made me think and remember, because I was in hospital for 6 months, quite a traumatic 6 months. So it was quite interesting that people with more commonly seen things had very similar experiences, because I just assumed, because my condition was so rare, that was why things were the way they were, but it doesn't sound like it through this. I really enjoyed this. I think it was about £6. It was, it's a variety of authors, well, poets. It's all poetry. So there's the patient's view, the doctor's view, and then there's a section on mental illness as well. And I found it fascinating, and I've written in it, and I don't usually write in books. I don't know why, I just don't. In pencil though, so it's okay. I've written ideas for poems and things that have happened to me, and I think some people could view that as why you're wanting to go back to that place of when you're in hospital and really poorly, but for me it's really helped me to move on. The next book I'm going to talk about is When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Caniti. I'm really sorry, I can't pronounce his name. He was a neurology surgeon who developed lung cancer that killed him. He wrote this book before he died, and he wanted it published. So his perception on life and death was very, very interesting. He was very at peace with it. Yeah, he was an amazing man. I wish he'd written more books. I wish he'd had the chance. He was 1 year, actually I think he was a few weeks off becoming a professor, graduating and becoming a professor at a university. But he was too ill. What I took away from this book was, despite his status, he'd won many awards and was very much up and coming, his GP didn't take what he said into consideration. So he saw cancer all the time, and his GP sent him for an x-ray which wouldn't have shown early signs of the cancer, and it didn't show up until it was progressed. And also when he was on a ward, a junior doctor didn't prescribe one of his medicines, said that he would and then didn't. I've had that experience so many times, so it was quite interesting from the perception of someone so high up in medicine, how they got the same treatment really. It was very interesting to see his transformation from doctor to patient. Yeah, I'd give this one a read. It was fascinating. I think I read it in a day and a half, and it's quite an easy read, but he does go off into like, he's very into his literary figures, so I found it fascinating. I wish I'd had the chance to write more books, really. This final book is called It Takes Guts by Evelyn Brink. Her baby boy was sentenced to death when he was born due to ultra short gut syndrome. I owe this author, the author of this book, quite a lot. She actually saved me from 6 months of vomiting. Because she wrote that they had put her little boy's stomach on drainage. So my stomach's on drainage because obviously it doesn't work, but it still produces all the stuff. You probably don't want to hear this, but stick with me. She mentioned that they passed an NG tube. So that's a tube that goes up your nose, down the back of your throat and into your stomach. My permanent fixed tube wasn't working properly for that part of it. I was still able to feed. So I talked to the GP and I said, look, just in the meantime, just while we're waiting for this operation, should only be a month, please can I pass an NG tube? Well, 6 months later, now I don't have to pass that NG tube at night anymore. It wasn't pleasant passing it, but it was definitely worth it. I got like a good couple of hours sleep in blocks, which is good for me. Otherwise, I would have just have had, I'd have just come out of a period of 6 months of vomiting. I tried to find her online actually to say thank you, but I couldn't really find much on her. I think she's quite, doesn't put her details out there, which is a shame, and I hope she sees this because she really helped me and made me feel like I wasn't alone, and I really connected with when she was feeling like no one really knew what was going on and what to do, because I've been referred to a specialist centre now, but in the 6 months I was in children's hospital, they didn't really know what to do with me. Yeah, it was interesting to see it from a parent's perspective as well, because obviously my parents are going through their child having a serious illness. Obviously it's different because his baby is really cute, but yeah, brilliant book. So that's it for my recommendations. Those books really mean a lot to me, they really help me. I'd like to know your recommendations for books I should read. I'd love to find out about some poets because I can't find any. Thanks for watching!